First story. My 23 male best friend's sister 19 female is blackmailing me with staged ex pictures into dating her. Throwaway account because there's a lot of people involved and they might read it. I was at my parents' house in August after graduating college. My best friend through grade school and high school is basically my brother. I mean, we were inseparable. His family is also very friendly with my family. His sister was starting her freshman year of college at the same university I had just graduated from. I had a flight booked to return to California to start my new job, but her parents asked me if I would drive out with her and help her move in and everything. I assumed it would be her family and I, but it was just us two. The 10-hour drive goes by pretty quickly, switching off driving. She isn't as shy as I remembered and we talked most of the way there. At this point I really don't think she is flirting, or I'm too oblivious to notice it. We move all her stuff into her room and go grocery shopping for her and stuff. Anyway, all is quiet from her for about a week, and then it started. She starts calling and asking if I'll go shopping with her because she doesn't know the stores here. She starts showing up at my apartment unannounced with food or movies. She shows up to where I work. I'll get calls at like 2 a.m. asking me to pick her up from some party and give her a ride home, and she will keep saying that she will just crash at my place because it's easier for me. I don't know what the duck she tells her girlfriends, because whenever they see me I get giggles and looks like they know something I don't. She will tell me things like how many kids she wants and names she likes not saying with me explicitly. I brushed it off for a long time thinking it was just a crush or something which would blow over soon. After like a month and a half of this, she showed up at work again for the third time, and I was annoyed and yelled a little and told her she can't show up unannounced like this. She stopped stalking me at work. But there's still all the other crap. It was like every time she left the house, she would ask me to go with her. Shopping. Getting her car serviced. Movies. Parties. Etc. And if I refused, she would just guilt trip me into going to more of the serious stuff like car servicing. Or she just appears at my apartment. Cut to 3 days ago, and this is where it becomes a nightmare. My good friend from college just bought a new house and had a party last weekend in his new place. Bunch of us are there. It's like 1 a.m. and everyone is pretty sloshed, including me. Then she shows up with 2 of her friends. I ask my friend if he invited her, and he says yes because he sees us together a lot. I never really told any of my friends about what was happening, so I guess to them it just seemed like her and I were friends. He had turned his garage into a dance floor. Darkened and covered in black sheets with colored lights everywhere, and a friend doing DJ things. This is where I majorly duck up. It's dark. We're dancing. And she is a really attractive young woman, and if she wasn't crazy or my best friend's sister I would be thrilled. We dance on and off for probably 30 minutes, and then she starts making out with me, and I ashamedly reciprocate. We kiss for too long, then I just stop. I say something like "this is wrong" and stop. I don't remember. And go upstairs and fall asleep in his guest bedroom. I wake up early the next morning to find her sleeping next to me undressed. I'm in my underwear. I don't remember taking my clothes off, but I probably did because that's what I normally do before bed. She's completely undressed though, and I freak out and she wakes up. She claims we had sex. I'm almost positive we didn't have sex. She then takes out her phone and shows me pictures of her all over me in the bed. You can tell she's undressed and my arm is covering her chest, or the sheets are. They're probably 6 or 7 pictures in total. One of her friends took them. I'm just speechless at this point, and she's saying stuff like now we're dating, and how good the ex was, and that she will be a good girlfriend, and that she doesn't want to have to show these to her family. I'm in a full panic shock and just leave and went home, and she called a bunch of times along the way but I didn't answer. I'm almost 100% certain we didn't have sex. I know it's not very scientific evidence, but I touched myself probably 2 or so hours after getting home just to be certain. I feel like I know my body pretty well, and I don't think I could have did it that much if I had just done so like 4 or 5 hours prior. I know I could have had sex with her without finishing, but I just really doubt anything happened. Now this was 2 days ago, and I don't know what the duck to do. I realize now that I shouldn't have let it get so out of hand, but I really did think it was just a crush, and I also didn't want her telling her parents I wasn't watching out for her or anything. I'm trying to talk some sense into her, but it just isn't working. I haven't talked to her in person yet though. She is saying stuff like we should just try dating, and if it doesn't work out then no biggie. I'm trying to explain that there's no way it can work now with this shirt storm hanging over my head. Do I wait and talk to her in person to see if she comes to her senses? I don't think she is the kind of person to show them to her family or mine, but my perception of what kind of person she was obviously wrong before. I'm seriously thinking about just calling her family and getting ahead of all of this, because if they first found out through the pictures it would look really bad. Too long didn't read. Title says it all: best friend's sister blackmailing me with staged ex pictures into dating her. Send her an email. Facebook message or text saying you don't think you had ex as you remember going to bed and waking up to her undressed in it and are confused. See if you can get her to blackmail you, or even say the supposed ex was consensual in writing. Say you're worried about the photos she showed you on her phone. Stress that they are on her phone for her sake as well as yours, and would like to know who took them so that they don't end up on the internet or something. You may get a witness out of this if she tells you, depending on what story she told the person who took them, or how drunk they were at the time. Also ask her how much she had to drink and state that she appeared sober when you stopped the two of you from making out and went to bed. If that is true, if she says she was sober or only had a little bit, then she can't say you took advantage of her later without contradicting herself. Say you are concerned about her well-being. Then when she responds, tell her in writing that you're very uncomfortable with what happened, that you feel violated by being taken advantage of, and ask her to please not contact you and give you space while you figure this out. Then tell your friends immediately, and when you tell the family also stress your concern about her. Because let's face it, she is lucky she tried to blackmail someone who isn't planning on hurting or causing trouble for her. Show them whatever evidence you have and continue to document any contact you have or have had with her. Realize you may lose your friend over this, but also recognize this is probably not new behavior for her. If she keeps trying to contact you after being asked not to, and you have evidence of that, you may have the right to a protective order, probably a stalking order, depending on what state you live in. Depending on the size of your former college and your experiences there, it may make sense to go to student services or something now and explain exactly what happened. Tell them you're concerned about her mental health as she continues as a student. I doubt behavior like that is a one-time thing. I don't want to perpetuate the idea that women lie or make false reports about harassment, because evidence shows false reports happen at the exact same rates as other crimes like burglary, which is almost never, and filing a manipulation report is an incredibly traumatic experience for the survivor, so most people don't go through that if they haven't been manipulated. But I will say that right now you are very lucky she is only threatening to tell her parents a lie and not either the school or the police. Protecting yourself from her family and a story that you engaged in consensual sex is likely the least of your worries right now. So cover all your bases and try to get her saying she was sober and a willing participant in whatever she claims happened in writing. I agree with this, but don't say the ex was consensual, as she could use that sort of statement in her defense. Tell your friend now. If he finds out about this some other way, it's going to look bad for you. I would go directly to the parents. Second story. My girlfriend 27 female and I 28 male have a open relationship. And I ended having sex with her sister 21 female who might now have feelings for me. What do I do? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. My girlfriend and I have been dating for the last 2 years, and we have decided from the very beginning to keep our relationship open, and that we can sleep with different people. In that sense, the relationship would probably be considered unbalanced by some. Not that it's a competition, but she definitely ends up having way more ex than me. She probably gets laid by a guy at least once every other week, whereas the number of people I have had ex with I can count on one hand. This doesn't particularly bother me either, since I knew that's what I was getting into. There aren't particularly any rules in place either. I should note that she has had ex with several of my friends, which doesn't really bother me, which leads me to my next part. About 2 months ago, during a get-together of my girlfriend family, everything was going fine for the most part until I ran into my girlfriend's sister when I was trying to go to the bathroom to wash up. She starts touching me and flirting heavily, saying about how my girlfriend told her our open relationship, which we had originally kept a secret. She eventually started escalating, and I reciprocated in kind. No one saw us or heard us due to the fact they were outside. I thought that would be the end of it, and admittedly, I was flattered that a younger girl found me attractive. However, the sister has begun to text me frequently and keeps asking to hang out. I haven't told my girlfriend yet about it. We kinda have a one-sided don't ask don't tell thing where she doesn't want to know but I want to know. Example. She tells me what she does and I don't tell her anything. I don't want to get her family involved or hurt the sister's feelings or my girlfriend's, but I am kinda lost on how to solve this. Thoughts? Should I tell my girlfriend? Too long, didn't read. My girlfriend 27 female and I 28 male have a open relationship. And I ended having sex with her sister 21 female who might now have feelings for me. What do I do? Okay. You have to know you crossed an obvious boundary here. And you haven't told her yet. Wow. And don't come at her with some crap about how it was never explicitly stated that barely legal family members were off limits. You have seriously ducked up your relationship's dynamic and you need to come clean yesterday. She doesn't want me to tell her about who she sleeps with. I kind of figured since friends weren't off limits and her sister knew about it and came on to me that my girlfriend kinda knew and okay it. Dude. Her sister probably doesn't even know your relationship is open. She sounds like she has a crush on you and now wants to steal you from her big sister. You are in deep shirt. Third story. I 22 male used to hook up with my girlfriend's 20 female sister 23 female before we started dating. My girlfriend, Ivy, has a half-sister, Hazel. They have completely different last names. And Ivy is half Chinese. And takes after that side. While Hazel is completely white. This is all to say. If they didn't tell you, you wouldn't know they are related. I met both of them separately. I met Hazel at university and Ivy at her work, a local cafe a friend recommended. I ended up seeing both of them. But completely casual and uncommitted. Since they look so different and have different last names, I never thought they would know each other or ever really asked. And obviously I never met or knew their family when I was seeing them because neither relationship was serious or meaningful at the time. Both knew it wasn't exclusive. And I ended up sleeping with both of them separately. Though it was simply casual and fun. About 3 months ago, Ivy talked to me about properly dating. I never intended a serious relationship. I've been happy just casual. And mostly avoided actual relationships. But Ivy honestly makes me feel different. With her. I want something real. I actually care about her. So I agreed. I broke things off with Hazel. And stopped seeing her. Hazel didn't seem super happy about it. But I didn't think much of it since we weren't serious. Last week I went out for lunch to meet Ivy's parents. From what I know, Ivy is pretty private about her love life. And doesn't say anything to her family before she sees her relation with a guy as serious. Plus, apparently, she didn't tell them too much about me beforehand because Hazel didn't realize the new boyfriend was me. So Elle showed up and meet her parents. And Hazel is there with them to my and her surprise. Apparently she decided she wanted to judge her sister's new boyfriend herself. We recognized each other. And Hazel was not happy. Still, we didn't say anything at the lunch and it went well. Luckily Ivy's parents like me at least. However, afterwards Hazel came over to see us and we ended up talking about everything. Hazel is not happy I dumped her for her sister. We were never exclusive or serious. And Ivy is not happy about me banging her sister mainly. Ivy also didn't like that I was sleeping around when we're first hooking up. But understands we weren't exclusive at the time. Either way, both sisters are mad at me. Hazel has, less than subtly, suggested I get with her instead since I was hers first. I don't intend to whatsoever. And hate her suggesting it. Ivy hates that I've slept with Hazel and has been really insecure and self-conscious about it. I am worried she kind of wants to break up over it. Because she hasn't taken the news well. Right now I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose my relationship with Ivy. But I am not sure how to handle this. I hate how messy this is. I had assumed casual hook UPS would help me avoid drama. But apparently not. Too long didn't read. I would casually hook up with both the sisters before I started dating my girlfriend. They looked very different with different last names. So I never knew they were related or knew each other. We all just realized and it's caused drama. Don't know what to do. Might not be a bad idea to walk away from both. This will always be an issue for them and could ruin their relationship as sisters. Eventually the parents will find out and won't like you anymore. There's no good long-term outcome. Sadly, it sounds that way. You're right, they probably wouldn't be happy finding out. I kind of feel that me and Ivy would be happy together if we got through this. But I guess it's not certain if we can. Duck sake. I finally actually fall for a girl. And I ruined it already. It sucks more because your girlfriend's sister has put a weird claim on you. She shouldn't have. Not now that she has done this, as it will definitely put a strain in their relationship because in Hazel's eyes her sister stole her boyfriend. This reminds me of that story where a girl started dating her friend's older brother, but the friend kept claiming they were dating and convinced their mother that this girl was apparently sleeping with both brothers. Girl ended up marrying the brother, and the mother suggested that he share his wife with his brother and tried to tell their kids that their uncle was their dad when he wasn't, because she chose the wrong brother. The kicker: they weren't even that good of friends to begin with. Don't make this decision for your girlfriend. Just lay it out on the table and respect which way she goes with it. I just want you to know that I broke it off with your sister because I did not see a future with her. Even if the situation between us never occurred, I would not be getting more stupid with her because I don't feel that way about her. I understand this is awkward and I will respect your decision. I like you. And that's why I chose to be your boyfriend. I hope that you understand that there are no conflicted feelings from my side. Let me know if you want to take time to process this or talk about it. This way she has all the information. And you then trust her to make an informed decision as an adult. It shows that you respect her agency. Be ready for a breakup. But let her own that decision for herself. Also, you didn't ruin anything. Either of these sisters could have been more open. It's a shitty coincidence. But you didn't know any of this information when you made your decisions. You didn't do anything wrong. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.